Abandoned planet. The stars were quiet. A broken spaceship floated near a dead planet. Its metal body was full of scars, burn marks, broken panels, and smashed lights. The ship looked like it had been attacked, then forgotten. Inside the ship, everything was dark, except for a small red light blinking on a control panel. Myra sat near the back of the ship, holding her sleeping child close. Her face was thin, her eyes tired. She had not slept for 2 days. Her child, only 5 years old, was wrapped in an old blanket, breathing slowly. The silence was heavy. Suddenly, the red light on the screen flashed faster. Final warning. Life support failing. Myra looked at the screen. Her lips moved, but no sound came out. She knew what it meant. No more air. No more heat. Death was coming. She looked down at her child. "You deserve better than this," she whispered. A tear ran down her face, but she wiped it quickly. She had no time for fear or sadness. She had to do something. Anything. She stood up, quietly, not to wake her child. She walked to the control panel. She pressed a few buttons. Most of them didn't work. Then she saw something. A faint signal was coming from the planet below. Just a weak pulse. Almost nothing. But it was strange. The planet was supposed to be empty. No cities. No life. Nothing. She stared out of the window. Dark clouds moved slowly across the surface. Broken buildings stood like skeletons in the dust. Then, something moved, far away. On the surface, a small figure, walking. Myra froze. "Impossible," she whispered. Her ship had no weapons, no fuel, no working engines. And now, maybe, something was coming up from that planet. She grabbed the small blaster her husband had left behind. It was old, and it only had 2 shots. 2 shots. She looked at her child again. "Stay asleep. Stay safe," she said, and kissed his forehead. Just then, the ship made a soft sound. Clank. Someone, or something, had just landed outside. Myra quickly turned off the emergency lights. She hid behind a metal crate. Her breathing was fast now, her hand tight on the blaster. She listened. Footsteps. Slow, heavy, mechanical. A machine, she thought. The airlock creaked. Then the door opened. Steam hissed from the floor. A tall figure stepped inside, covered in dust and armor. Its eyes glowed blue in the dark. It was not an alien. It was not human either. It was a rescue bot. Old, rusted, damaged. It scanned the room slowly. "Human detected," it said in a robotic voice. "Status, hostile or helpless." Myra didn't move. She didn't speak. The robot turned toward her. Its scanners beeped again. 1 adult, 1 child. Weak life signs. Human mother. The bot lowered its arms. "You are not enemy. You are forgotten." Myra slowly stood up. She kept the blaster in her hand, just in case. "Who sent you?" she asked. The bot replied, "No one. I am old protocol." I heard a cry. Myra didn't understand. A cry. The robot nodded once. It walked toward the control panel and plugged in a wire. Suddenly, Myra's last message, the one she had sent 2 days ago, played back. Her voice filled the room. "Please, if anyone hears this, we need help. My name is Myra. My son is sick. We are alone. We were left behind." The message ended. The robot turned back to her. "Your signal is weak." But something answered. Myra stepped closer. "Who?" "A ship. Human." The bot's voice grew softer. "Unknown, but not friendly." Myra's eyes widened. "What do you mean?" The bot looked out the window. Its scanners beeped again. "You are not alone on this planet anymore." The child woke up and cried softly. Myra ran to him and held him close. "It's okay. Mom is here." But deep down, she knew. It was not okay. Not anymore. Outside, something big moved through the fog. Shadows of strange shapes appeared, and in the darkness, something was watching them. The night never ended. On this planet, dark clouds covered the sky, and the wind howled like an animal. Far above, Myra's damaged ship sat crooked on a rocky hill, half buried in ash. Inside, Myra sat with her child in her lap. The rescue bot stood near the broken control panel, silent and still, like a statue. Her child coughed softly. Myra held him tighter. "He's getting worse," she whispered. She had no medicine left. No food. Only a bottle of water and a few energy packs. She looked at the rescue bot. "You said something," answered our signal. "Where is it?" The bot's eyes blinked blue, then turned red. "Signal detected." Origin. Deep space. Speed. Fast. Mira stood up quickly. Human. The bot paused. Unknown. Maybe human. Maybe something else. Mira looked out the window. The stars were hidden, but something was out there. Something was coming. We need to send the beacon again, she said. The bot replied, the beacon is damaged. It was never meant to last this long. Mira walked to the panel. Her hands moved fast. She had been an engineer once before the war, before her people called her cursed. Before they left her behind, she opened a small box under the panel. Inside, she found a thin metal tube, cracked, but maybe usable. Maybe I can fix it. The bot tilted its head. Hope is not logical. Mira smiled, just a little. Neither is being human. She worked for almost an hour. Sparks flew from the wires. Her fingers were burned, but she didn't stop. Her child slept again, curled up near the wall. Finally, she connected the last wire. The beacon lit up, weak, flickering, but alive. Come on, send it. The signal fired into space. Now they could only wait. Suddenly, the ship shook. Dust fell from the ceiling. Myra looked at the bot. Earthquake. The bot shook its head. No. Something landed. Outside, something large moved through the fog. Not a ship. Not human. Its shape was wrong. Too tall. Too thin. And it made no sound when it walked. Myra backed away from the window. Can we hide? The bot said nothing. A loud thud echoed through the hull. Something was climbing up the ship. Myra ran to her child and picked him up. The bot stood between them and the door. Then silence. The ship's main door creaked. It opened slowly. Nothing came through. Only silence. Then, a sound, a voice. Cold and metallic. Human female. Identified. Classified. Contaminated. Mira's blood turned cold. Another figure appeared. Not a bot. Not a person. It had no face. Just a smooth metal head, and long arms that reached the floor. The rescue bot stepped forward. Leave. This is not your territory. The creature didn't move. Its head turned slowly toward the child. The child carries the mark. She must not escape. Mira raised the blaster and fired. One shot. Missed. Second shot. Hit the thing, jerked back but didn't fall. The rescue bot attacked. It grabbed the creature and pushed it back into the hallway. Run, it said. Myra didn't argue. She ran down the narrow hall with her child in her arms. She reached the back hatch, opened it, and slid down the slope behind the ship. The fog outside was thick, cold, and smelled like ash. She didn't look back. She ran until her legs gave out. She fell behind a broken wall of some old alien ruin. Her child stirred, eyes blinking. Mama, we're safe. She lied. In the distance. A loud explosion. Then silence. Bot, she whispered. He had given his life to save hers. Again she looked up at the black sky. If someone is out there, please, come. And then, for the first time, she saw it. A small light in the sky. Moving fast, coming closer. Not a star, not a shadow, a ship. And it was human. The sky was still dark, but something had changed. A light, small and bright, moved across the clouds like a silent star. It was getting closer every second. Mira lay behind the broken wall, holding her child close. His small hand gripped her coat. His skin was cold, and his breathing shallow. She looked up. Is it real this time? So many signals. So many false hopes. Her messages had been sent for weeks with no answer. But now, there it was. A ship. Human. It had to be. Far away. In deep space. A large human warship floated near the edge of the abandoned system. Its hull was dark gray, built for battle. Inside, the crew was silent, staring at a screen. A faint signal played on loop, distorted, broken, but still clear enough to understand. This is Mira, human survivor, requesting help. I have a child. They are hunting us. Please, help. Captain Wren stood with his arms crossed. His face was scarred. His eyes, sharp. She's alive, he said quietly. A younger officer looked confused. Sir, who is she? The captain didn't answer right away. He walked to the screen and stared at the signal. Someone we left behind a long time ago. The officer blinked. Are we going after her? The captain turned. We don't leave humans behind. Not again. Back on the planet. The ship entered the atmosphere. Fire lit the sky as it broke. Through it circled once, then landed near the ruins with a loud boom. Myra didn't move right away. Was it really help? Or was it another trick? She had seen worse things wearing human faces. But then the ship's door opened. 2 people stepped out. Human soldiers, in black armor with white lights on their shoulders. One held a scanner. The other carried medical gear. They saw her. We found them. Over here. Mira felt her legs go weak. She tried to stand but couldn't. The med soldier ran to her and took the child carefully. He's freezing. We'll help him. Myra's eyes filled with tears. For the first time, she felt like she could stop running. But deep inside, something still felt wrong. Too easy. Too perfect. On board the rescue ship, Mira and her son were placed in a small medical room. Warm lights, soft bed, real food. The child smiled weakly. His lips moved mama lights. Mira smiled and kissed his forehead. We're safe now. But then, she noticed something. The scanner near the child's bed. It was showing strange readings. Symbols she didn't recognize. Energy levels. Too high for a normal human. She turned to the soldier. What is this? He hesitated. It's just background data. Nothing serious. But his eyes told a different story. She knew those eyes. She had seen that look before. Fear. In the command room. Captain Wren listened to a private report. Sir, the child. He's not normal. His DNA carries traces of something. Ancient. Alien. Wren's face hardened. He's still human, mostly. But he has energy signatures we've only seen once before, during the last war. The enemy feared something like this. They called it the Echo. The captain turned to the window, staring down at the planet. They think that child can destroy them. The officer nodded. That's why they're coming. On the ship, later that night, Myra couldn't sleep. Something felt off. She walked quietly through the hallway, passing dark rooms and blinking lights. Then she heard it. A voice, not human, whispering through the communication panel. She stepped closer. The screen flickered. Then a message appeared. You are not safe. They are watching. Trust no one. The message blinked once, then vanished. Myra stepped back, heart pounding. Who was that? Suddenly, a new sound filled the ship. A warning. Unknown signal detected. Location. Inside the ship. Panic filled the air. Lights turned red. Soldiers ran through the hallways. Myra rushed to her child's room. He was awake, glowing faintly. His eyes, not scared. Like he knew. They found us again, he whispered. Mira hugged him tight. We won't let them take you. The ship shook violently. Outside the window, giant shadows appeared. Not ships. Creatures, floating in space like ghosts. But alive. Searching. The Echo had called them. And now, they were here. The rescue ship trembled in the sky. Outside the window, strange shapes floated in the dark. Not ships, not machines. They were alive. Moving without wings. Whispering without sound. Creatures made of mist and memory. Myra held her son close. His eyes glowed faintly, golden like a soft flame. They found us, she whispered. But why? Captain Wren stood on the bridge, fists clenched. These aren't normal enemies, he said. They're not here to destroy us. They're here for the boy. The science officer replied quietly. He's not just human. His DNA carries alien code, old code, from a species thought to be extinct. Wren looked down at the readings. We need answers, before they tear this ship apart. Hours earlier, before the sky filled with monsters, Mira had walked alone on the surface. The ship's crew had allowed her an hour outside, under guard, while they ran more tests on her child. She had asked to visit the ruins near where the ship had landed. The ruins were strange. Old stone walls with symbols that didn't match any known language. Not human. Not from any known alien race either. But they felt familiar. Her boots crunched over dry ash. The wind carried a whisper she couldn't understand. Then, at the center of the ruin, she saw it, a stone circle with carvings. Half buried under dirt, she knelt down and brushed it clean. There, in the center, was a drawing. A woman holding a glowing child, just like her. All around them were creatures bowing. Some in fear, others in awe. What is this place? She whispered. A voice answered behind her. It's a graveyard. She turned sharply. A tall man stood there, dressed in dark robes, not part of the crew. Mira stepped back. Who are you? The man did not move closer. Someone who remembers. She raised her hand toward her blaster. Stay back. He raised his hands peacefully. I mean no harm. I was a watcher. My people studied these ruins long ago. We knew someone would return. Mira narrowed her eyes. Return. The man pointed at the stone circle. That child you carry is the key to a war that never ended. Not truly. Myra's heart raced. He's just a boy. No, the man said. He's the first human-born echo. A spark of something older than any empire. The ground shook slightly beneath them. And now they know he lives. Present back on the ship, the strange creatures outside didn't fire weapons. They simply floated near the ship, humming, watching. The lights inside the ship dimmed. Systems flickered. And everyone felt a pressure in their minds. Mira ran to the captain. We have to leave. We can't stay in orbit. Ren looked at her with tired eyes. They're not attacking. They're waiting. For what? The science officer answered. For the child. In the medical bay, the boy sat silently. He wasn't crying. He wasn't afraid. He stared out the window at the creatures. His voice was soft. They remember me. A nurse knelt beside him. What do you mean? He looked into her eyes. Don't know how I know. But I do. They hurt my father. They burned his mind. And now, they want me. Suddenly, the boy stood. His hands began to glow. Machines around him beeped wildly. Alarms blared. Bridge. Seconds later, power surge in the medical bay. Emergency shutdown failing. Myra ran down the hallway toward her son. Soldiers followed. But when they reached the door, they stopped. The boy stood in the center of the room. Floating dot symbols from the ancient ruins began glowing on the walls around him. And then, a voice echoed through the room. Not his. Not human. Not machine. Something ancient. The buried one has awakened. The glow faded. The boy dropped gently to the ground. He blinked and looked up at his mother. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to scare anyone. Myra hugged him tightly. It's okay. I'm here. But behind her, the crew stood in shock. Fear in their eyes. In the warship's secure chamber. Captain Wren met with senior officers. We can't deny it anymore, he said. The child is connected to something powerful. Something dangerous. One officer slammed the table. We can't take that risk. What if he becomes one of them? Another whispered. What if he's humanity's only hope? Silence. Captain Wren looked down at a small device, a memory chip. Inside it, records from 20 years ago. A hidden war, a secret mission, and a name. Mira. The truth was buried. But now, it's rising again. The silence after the storm was always the loudest. Myra sat beside her son in the dim medical bay. The glow around him had faded. He looked like a normal boy again. Small, fragile, tired. But everyone who had seen what happened knew. He was not normal anymore. Outside the glass window, soldiers stood watch. Not to protect. To guard. Mira noticed the change. Their eyes didn't see a mother and child anymore. They saw a threat. She held her son close. I won't let them take you, she whispered. He looked up at her. They're afraid of me now. She didn't answer. He was right on the command room. Captain Wren stared at the stars on the screen. The strange alien beings had left. For now, but their message remained clear. They weren't here to invade. They were watching, waiting, and now, someone else was coming. Unidentified ship approaching, said the navigation officer. No response to hails. Wren's eyes narrowed. Weapons ready. Yes, sir, but the ship is human. Wren froze. Another human ship. Out here. No registry. Match. Unknown design. But it's definitely built by humans. Or something trying to look like us. The unknown ship stopped just beyond firing range. It didn't attack. Didn't speak. Then, it sent a message. One simple sentence. We request the child. Everyone on the bridge went silent. The captain's voice was ice. Request denied. A second message followed. You don't understand what he is. Let us show you. Then, without warning, the ship projected an image directly into their systems. Vision. A memory. A battlefield filled with fire. Human soldiers screaming. Alien machines falling. And in the center of it all, a glowing child, raising his hand. Sending out a wave of pure energy. Everything around him, friend or enemy, fell. Then, silence. The image faded. The crew stared in horror. That was Earth, someone whispered. Was that the future? Wren shook his head. No, that was the past. A hidden war. Covered up the Echo event. He turned to his second in command. We need answers. Now. In the deep files of the warship's database. An old log, sealed for decades. Unlocked, it spoke of a secret mission. A science team. A human soldier. A woman named Myra. And an experiment. Something called Project Echo. A test to merge human DNA with recovered alien relics. Most subjects failed. One succeeded, a child, and then the station was attacked. Everyone presumed dead. The records were buried, but one woman had survived. Mira, and she had escaped. With the child, back in the medbay. Mira was surrounded by guards now. Captain Wren entered, holding a tablet. "You lied to us," he said. "You knew what he was." Myra stood between them and her son. "I didn't know. Not until now. I just ran. I protected him." "Isn't that what a mother does?" Wren's voice softened slightly. "This isn't just about you anymore. That ship out there, they know what he can do. They fear him. Or worse, they want to use him." Her voice cracked. "And what do you want to do? Lock him up? Study him?" Wren didn't answer. Suddenly the alarms blared. "The other ship is moving. It's launching pods." Wren ran back to the bridge. 3 black pods flew from the unknown ship, straight toward them. No weapons, just small, fast capsules. They hit the hull and didn't explode. Instead, they dug and breached. From inside them came tall figures, in dark armor, faces hidden, movements sharp, fast. They didn't shoot. They were heading straight for the boy, in the hallway. Mira ran, holding her son's hand. Lights flickered. Doors locked behind her. Alarms screamed. A squad of enemy soldiers chased them, but she knew the ship better. She had studied the layout. She had been planning an escape since the moment she felt the crew change toward her. She turned a corner and ran straight into one of the armored invaders. He didn't shoot. He simply raised his hand. The boy stopped, running. He looked at the soldier and whispered, "You're not here to hurt me." The soldier slowly nodded. "We are here to protect you from them." Mira looked confused. "Protect, but you attacked because the humans would never give you up willingly. They do not understand what you are, or what's coming." Back in the control room, Captain Wren watched it all on the monitor. Then something happened. The alien creatures from before, the ones made of mist, returned, and this time they were not alone. A second fleet, unknown, massive, coming from deep space, all heading toward the boy. 3 forces, 1 child, 1 mother, 1 decision, and no one could agree on what the child truly was. A weapon, a savior, or a warning. The warship floated between stars, surrounded by silence. But inside, chaos had taken over. Myra stood in the center of a sealed room, her arms wrapped tightly around her son. Her eyes darted between 2 sides, both human, both armed, both shouting at each other. One group wore dark armor, the soldiers from the unknown ship. The other was Captain Wren's team, the rescue crew who had found her. Guns pointed, fingers on triggers. One wrong word, and everything would explode. "Stand down," Wren shouted. "This child is under my protection." The enemy leader, face still hidden behind a smooth black helmet, stepped forward. "He doesn't belong to you. He never did." Mira's voice rose above them all. "He belongs to no one." Silence. Then, slowly, everyone lowered their weapons, but tension stayed in the air like smoke after fire. 10 minutes earlier, Captain Wren had learned the truth. The boy was not just Mira's son. He was the last result of a hidden experiment. A child born from human and alien energy, something old. Something the universe had tried to erase. And now, 3 sides had arrived to claim him. The rescue crew, who feared what he might become. The armored strangers, who said they wanted to protect him. And in the distance, the ghost fleet, drifting in silence, the ancient ones who had hunted him before birth. Back in the room, the black-armored leader finally removed his helmet. He was human, older, pale, with eyes full of tired knowledge. "My name is Arlen. I was part of Project Echo. I helped build what your son is." Mira stepped back, tightening her grip on the child. "You built him?" Arlen nodded. "We studied the ruins. We thought we could create something strong enough to protect Earth forever. But we were wrong. The energy we used, it remembered things. Old wars, old enemies. It gave him a purpose we never wrote." Wren's voice was cold. "And now what? You want to take him and fix your mistake?" Arlen shook his head. "No, I want to help him survive. Because the ones coming now, they don't care what he becomes. They just want to erase him." In the distance, the ghost fleet moved. Ships like broken bones and burning glass cut through space, silent and deadly. They had no names, no signals, no life signs. They were older than memory. Their goal, destroy the boy. Not because he was evil, but because he was proof that humans could become something more. On the warship, a decision had to be made. Captain Wren called a private meeting with Mira, Arlen, and his officers. The captain looked at the boy, sleeping in a chair, soft glow still under his skin. We can't fight 3 fleets. We're outnumbered, outgunned. If we hand over the child, we save the crew, the ship. Humanity might survive. Myra spoke softly. And if you give him up, you lose your soul. Arlen added, this boy may be the next step in human evolution, or the last. But letting fear choose for us, that's not survival. That's surrender. Everyone turned to Captain Wren. He looked tired, conflicted. Then he walked over to the child, knelt, and said, what do you want, kid? The boy opened his eyes. I want to live. I want to stop running. And I want to understand why I feel like I've done this before. Later that hour, the crew prepared for battle. But Mira was given a third choice. A small, fast ship cloaked, silent, unarmed, would carry her and the boy away. Captain Wren gave her the controls himself. They'll follow you, not us. We'll buy you time. Myra shook her head. Why are you helping me now? Wren replied. Because humanity isn't about power. It's about the choices we make when we're afraid. And I choose not to be afraid of him anymore. Arlen joined her. He placed a small metal cube in her hand. This holds everything you need to know about his past and what's coming. Myra looked at her son. He smiled. And for the first time in weeks, she smiled back. Let's stop running. The cloaked ship launched. The boy and his mother disappeared into the stars. Not as fugitives, not as monsters, but as hope. And behind them, the warship turned to face the darkness. One last message echoed through space. We are human, and we protect our own. Space burned behind them. Captain Wren's warship had turned to face the Ghost Fleet, an army of ancient machines built to erase anything too powerful, too human. Their mission: destroy the boy Myra had saved, the child they believed should never exist. But Wren didn't run. He stood tall on the bridge. We may not survive, he said to his crew. But today, we remind the galaxy what it means to be human. The warship charged into darkness, shields up, guns hot, not to win, but to protect. Elsewhere, in the cloaked ship, Mira watched the battle from a small window. The distant flashes of light looked like silent fireworks, beautiful and deadly. Her son sat beside her, quiet, thoughtful. The cube Arlen had given them now glowed in his hands. He had seen war. He had been hunted. Now he held the truth. The cube opened slowly, revealing memory files, holograms, lost languages, and one message in her own voice. If you're hearing this, you've survived, but survival is not enough. You must choose who you become now. It was a recording from the secret base, years ago, before the war. Myra had left it for her future self, not knowing if she'd ever hear it. Her son listened to, "Is that really you?" She nodded, tears in her eyes. "A part of me I almost forgot." The cube showed more. A galaxy at war. Alien kings. Human experiments. The birth of something new, something powerful. He wasn't created to destroy. He was created to end the cycle. A bridge between species. But only if he chose to be. Suddenly, a red light blinked on their ship's dashboard. Incoming craft. Not hostile. It was Arlen. He had followed them in a small escape pod. Myra opened the hatch. "Why are you here?" Arlen stepped in, breathing hard. "Because the war isn't over. Wren's ship won't hold them forever. And you, both of you, are the only chance left." The boy looked up. "But I don't know what to do." Arlen knelt in front of him. "You don't need to fight. You need to show them that you're not what they fear." Behind them, the warship exploded. Captain Wren's voice echoed through the final transmission. "We were never cursed. We were never weak. Humanity stands, even if only for a moment. Let that moment matter." Then, silence. The screen went dark. Mira's heart broke. But she knew what they had to do. The Ghost Fleet turned toward them. Thousands of strange ships. No lights, no voices. Then a message appeared in the stars. Not text, a vision. The boy, older, standing in fire. Galaxies burning around him. A warning. He will bring the end. Mira stepped forward. "That is not the future. Not unless you make it so." The child placed his hand on the console. Light pulsed from his fingers. The cube's data flowed into the ship's systems. He wasn't just a weapon. He was a mirror, showing each species what they feared most, or what they hoped to become. He sent a new signal into space. Not a threat, not a scream. A song. His heartbeat, his memories, his laughter, his pain. His humanity. The Ghost Fleet paused, one by one. Their ships began to dim. They didn't fire. They didn't move. They listened. Then something amazing happened. One of the ghost ships powered down, then another. Then hundreds. They weren't here to destroy. They were here to judge, and the boy had passed. Later, Mira and her son returned to Earth, but Earth was no longer the same. The story had spread. A human child had made the galaxy. Stop and listen. Some feared him. Many worshipped him, but Mira raised him not as a god, not as a weapon, but as a boy who had once been alone in the dark. He grew up learning peace before power, and when he finally stood before the United Council of Species, he said only one thing: I am human, but I carry more than human blood. I carry human hope, and that is enough. Years later, Mira sat in a quiet garden, old now, watching children play under a bright blue sky. Her son, now a leader, a diplomat, and a symbol of peace, walked beside her. Did we do the right thing? He asked. She smiled. We made a choice, and sometimes, that's all humans can do. He nodded. Thank you for never giving up on me. She reached up and touched his cheek. No one wanted us. But now, everyone follows you. Not because of your power, but because you remind them what it means to care. He held her hand, and in that moment, with no weapons, no armies, no fear, Myra knew the truth. Her son had saved the galaxy. Not because he was perfect, but because, in the end, he was human, after all.